So this is Toad Hall. We actually maintain this area at different rates depending on the season. In the winter, most of the animals go into a kind of torpor and are just not very active at all. In the summer, all the animals are active and wanting to breed and things, so we up our maintenance. We will come through here at least once a day just to check everything, but we don't actually open the tanks and do things unless it's needed. So these are our green toads. We will check their water. We'll quite often put new plants in with these animals because we have it so humid. A lot of the plants don't really like it all that much. Even the pond plants get a bit fed up with how humid we have it in there. But the green toads, they like it, so that's fine. We'll feed them earthworms and we'll feed them crickets. And so what we do with most of our frogs and things is you'll look at them, you look at their body condition. If they're looking, this one's looking hungry, despite the fact you're looking quite tubby. When it gets up to winter, we need to make sure that everyone is healthy enough to be able to sort of slow down over the winter without it being an issue. So around this time of year, we'll go through, we'll make sure everybody's nice and well fed, maybe up the food a little bit if they need it. These are one of my favourites. These are crocodile newts. They look like Toothless from How to Train Your Dragon, and they are the most fun animals to feed. They are quite fat at the moment, so they're on a diet, so I can't actually feed them to show you. But you give them earthworms and they run around with like half an earthworm sticking out their mouth. They love it. But because they're so kind of food ready, they occasionally try and eat each other as well. So when you're spraying, you spray, clean the glass, make sure the water is topped up, make sure everything's working in there. Occasionally one of them will try and bite another one and you just pick them up and then they drop off. So it's a fine thing. They never actually eat each other. Occasionally you'll see babies in here because we don't always take the eggs out. So occasionally you will get baby ones. They look like tiny little oxalotls because oxalotls are a neonatal salamander. So they're just salamanders that never grew up, never wanted to grow up. We've got fire-bellied newts in here as well. These are a very common newt. In the pet trade, they're one of the most commonly kept ones. We keep them because they're a very good newt to learn with as well. So quite often we will, with work experience and volunteers, we will get them to look after the baby fire-bellied newts or the baby crocodile newts, because then they can learn how to look after these animals well. So these are fire salamanders. So the difference between a salamander and a newt is pretty much how much land it stays on. Salamanders tend to be largely terrestrial, whereas newts tend to be largely aquatic. Salamanders, these are fire salamanders. So they do have a toxin, like toads do. So just behind their eye there is a lump that can produce a toxin. And these guys, they used to like to hibernate in nice moist wood. So people in the winter would throw the wood on the fire and the salamanders would all crawl out because they were on fire, hence the name fire salamander, because they thought they were born in the fire. But they weren't, they were trying to sleep. So these guys, they don't eat a lot. We feed them earthworms mainly, crickets as well. We come in, we check on them, we make sure that if anybody looks like they're a little bit pregnant or anything, we'll just make sure that, you know, they're okay. So although these are really lovely, they do hide a lot, which is such a shame because they're so beautiful. It would be really nice if people could see them more often. But a lot of our animals, they are small, they are tasty, and they don't want to be eaten. And so they will hide a lot, they'll be camouflaged, and it doesn't make them necessarily amazing display animals, but they are beautiful animals. And if you do stay there long enough to catch a glimpse of one, then, you know, it's really cool because you get to see these beautiful little animals.